Monday to Friday, live at omniaudio.africa and streaming data-free on your phone on the MTN network in South Africa. T&Cs apply.
Elevate your performance with the goodness of whole grains. AGT Foods quinoa and bulgur wheat deliver sustained energy for every workout. Stay fit, stay healthy. Brought to you by AGT Foods Africa. Good food, good health, good life. I needed some of this yesterday because besides Chelsea losing, I'm so sick of the referees just across the board. So another five red cards this weekend. And, you know, I don't know if Arsenal have a discipline problem. I don't know if refs are killing the EPL. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on there. I want to start off with William Saliba's red card because for me, it is a red card, right? It is a red card. That one is through on goal. And I think it was deserved. I do think the Saliba one was different from the Liverpool game, but we'll come to the Liverpool one. Saliba's one's a red card. I mean, the guy's through on goal. Saliba clearly obviously pulls the guy. It would have been a clear goal scoring opportunity, and there's no way he's catching him. Poor pass from Trossard. So I would say that was a red for me, Kev.
Yeah, well, it was early on in the game, and it was initially, I think the referee took the decision to make it a yellow card before VAR intervened. And there was a bit of an incident. Jamie Carragher asked, because Howard Webb was in the crowd, and he asked, was Howard Webb involved in the upgrade of the yellow card to red card? Because he saw Howard Webb on his phone live on air in the stands, and then he quickly deleted that tweet and said, no, I didn't mean it. No, because I do think that it was a red card. I thoroughly believe that it was a daft thing. Sometimes let the guy go through. Test your let your keeper sort that out. That's his goal. I mean, that's his aim in life. He's a goalkeeper.
Well, it's an interesting one. I don't know if in that split second you can fight the instinct to defend. This is what these guys have been training for from the age of like 6 years old, is if a guy's through, you just don't let him through. But I think it's a good point on your side. It was 30 minutes into the game. Let's say Arsenal go 1-0 down. I would back the Gunners to come back from 1-0 down against Bournemouth 90% of the time. So in that moment, perhaps the right decision is let him go. If he finishes, no problem. It was a Trossard mistake. We pick it up again, but at least we've got 11 to fight back. Now, not only are you down to 10 men, there's an hour left to play with the referee's optional time. I mean, at that level, there's just, as Mikel Arteta said earlier, there's just no way you are surviving it. There is no way. And Bournemouth are a handful with 11 men.
Yeah, I mean, the three words I hate most in football these days aren't VAR or for the three letters, are pitch side monitor. Because a pitch side monitor is a misnomer. It's not a monitor, it's a guessing game because it slows the game down. And the replays for me, it come through at a weird pace and at a weird editing tempo. There doesn't seem to be any consistency in those. And that's the one thing with VAR, the consistency of the refereeing. They don't ask the proper questions. Did he kick him? Yeah. Did he do it recklessly? Yeah. Those are the things you ask, and they're not doing. And the pitch side monitor just exacerbates the decision that the VAR wants. So it's almost like it's proactive editing for me. It's not that it's being done on purpose or maliciously. It's just I see it this way, and then here's the angles to show you why I think it's this way. Not here's the angles to show you why it's not. I need to see some more angles, like the TMO does in rugby. It's a very biased process for me.
What I hate is they leave the consumer out of the decision-making process, as you're saying, is that football fans are smarter now than ever. So we know more. Like, kids today have watched more football than Gary Neville could ever dream of watching, purely because they grew up with the Bundesliga, La Liga, FIFA, Football Manager. Like, the consumer now knows more than ever. You will not. We are not idiots now. We have the most sophisticated consumers of all time, and people live this game. What do you think we're going to do? Fall apart if we hear the referee's decision-making process? Just explain to us how you got there. Often when you irritate or if somebody's annoyed, your wife, your girlfriend, husband, whatever it may be, is often people will come to you and say, listen, just explain to me how you came to this decision. And often that'll placate their anger. And I think a lot of that is feeling left out. Like you say, referees in rugby, although people get frustrated, at least they can like, oh, I see how he got to this decision, even if I don't agree with it. I think it's important. The other controversial decision this weekend, though, that I want to go to was the Chelsea-Liverpool game had what people are calling a similar incident. And I say it wasn't similar because here's the other thing. For the Arsenal game, for me, the ball was curving towards the box. So the striker would have been directly in on the keeper. For Jota's one, it's not a goal-scoring opportunity because the ball is actually going towards the sideline. Now, it's difficult, obviously, people are just looking at the incident, is Jota isn't, let's say Tosin lets him go. Jota isn't going to be running in on goal because he actually has to go get the ball. If you see where the ball's curving to, it's actually curving towards the touchline. And for me, that mitigates it being a clear goal-scoring opportunity. And it's not just because I'm a Chelsea fan. But again, nobody's explaining this to football fans. So people are just now coming to their own conclusions saying, oh, it's a lack of consistency. But you're not talking us through the Arsenal one. So now we're seeing this one and we're making up our own minds. I don't know if you can see if they're making a rope for their own necks here. What's it, PGMOL.
Yeah, in legal terms, you would call this precedent. So precedent had been set by the Saliba red card for Arsenal the day before. Do we then, how do we adjust that to this yellow card? I mean, VAR was involved, but also there were mitigating factors in the fact that Levy Colwell was close by. He was not far away from him, so he wasn't the only person through on goals. Jota could have been covered, could have been shepherded to the line. I think that what made it bad or worse was the fact that Jota got injured. He took an unlucky knee to the back, and when he was hobbling around for 20 minutes, and then he went off, he was replaced by Darwin Núñez. That was possibly the thing that made it seem like it should be a red card because Jota got injured. It was a yellow for the protocols and the letter of the law. And that's what we've got to look at. The protocols are just bad. I mean, the protocols don't make sense. They're too vague. The DRS system in cricket, the protocols are absolutely set in stone. This is what you do, boom, and you hear them going through them. Said, okay, let's see. Okay, I can see a clear space between bat and ball. So that's the first thing they do. Said, bring up ultra edge, which is the second level of authority. And is there an edge on the bat? Have they touched it? Like Annika Bosch's one. New Zealand appealed, and no one thought she'd touched it, but she got the thinnest of thin edges on it. And if it's a leg before decision, then they will go to the ball tracking, which is Hawkeye. And so you got your protocol system, and then they'll go, right, okay, hitting, and here's the mitigations. It's umpire's call, or it's hitting the wickets. It's out. Change your decision. You're on camera now, and everyone understands, and no one goes, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, it's there for you to see.
Bloody annoying as a football fan around. And you know what? You can celebrate someone else's downfall, but those bad decisions are coming to your team near you soon. So for me, I'm annoyed as a football fan because as a Chelsea fan, I know that Arsenal decision. I know that this inconsistency with VAR is coming to Chelsea soon. So I'm not celebrating it just because it happens to Man United. I don't like it because it's going to happen to my club. 0788 777716. The other side of this is Arsenal now are seeming to have. Listen, it's okay to have an edge. What you can't do is go over the edge. These red cards are becoming a problem, and this lack of discipline. People are now starting to say Arsenal are out of the race. You can't be losing to Bournemouth away. Man City, as you saw over the weekend, won controversially, but you can't be losing that. There's another horror show of a VAR decision. Are Arsenal out of the race? Are they in it? I
don't know. I just think the sloppiness. I think that Saliba red card was possibly an epitome in a moment in time that they looked back and said, this is the core of our dysfunction. Because if you look at Leonardo Trossard makes it daft. Slice pass behind his own defensive line. That forces William Saliba has to pull back Evan Elson, and when he didn't need to. I mean, Evan Elson still had the half of the pitch to run. He didn't need to make that tackle then. None of it made sense. What was Trossard doing? Why would Saliba commit the foul? Why was Why do they put themselves in that situation? So it starts with one mistake, and then it's compounded by another mistake, another mistake, another mistake. And if they keep doing the sloppiness, and that is what it is, it's sloppiness in possession, it's sloppiness out of possession, it's a lack of discipline, and as Declan Rice actually said, it's naivety in play.
4 points off the top are the Gunners. Let's move over to that Man City decision as well. Not sure if you saw it, but Bernardo Silva is clearly impeding the goalkeeper. He's clear, like the goalkeeper has to look around him to see what's going on with the ball. He is way offside, and they give John Stones his goal. What I hate is it was given, the correct decision was made. Why is VAR intervening? Like that's exactly not what it was made for. The correct decision was already made. How on earth, if you're a football fan or somebody who watches football, how on earth can you not say Bernardo Silva's offside there?
And also he made contact with the Wolves keeper, Jose Sa, and that's as the ball was en route. So he may have ducked in front of him, but he was still in his line of sight, and he was still interfering with play. And those are the 3 words for me, interfering with play. And for me, if he offsides, and it keeps coming back to this with referees saying, and people saying, but he's not interfering with play. So, but if he runs into an offside position and you as a defender then are in 2 minds about whether you have to go cover him or not, or come back inside to the guy who's still onside, you don't just let a guy go who's offsides just in case, because you don't trust the referee. The linesman only needs to put his flag up after the event. So you need to trust yourself. You need to just go, right, do I take a choice? Do I make a gamble that VAR is going to help save me here? Or do I do the right thing and do my job? Do I go and cover the guy until the decision gets made? And that is the essence of interfering with play for me.
Disgusting. Absolutely bloody disgusting that decision wasn't given. If you're a football fan and you watch that, you've got to be incandescent. Listen, if you're a Wolves fan, I mean, we saw what Gary O'Neill said. He came out, the manager of Wolves, and said, that decision, Man City are more likely than Wolves to get those kinds of decisions. And this is the kind of thing you never want seeping into football, because the integrity of the game being called into questions by managers. I mean, he's going to get a massive fine for that. He knows that.
Yeah.
But for him to be willing to come out and say that lets you know, like that's not somewhere where the Premier League is going to be, because part of the sponsorship and the way the model, the way you feed the goose is that it's all about fair competition. It's all about integrity of competition. If the managers and the participants are questioning whether there's integrity, it seems like a small thing, but that creates a ripple effect of we can have problems around the road, down the road here, because don't you dare think Gary O'Neill's the only one complaining. It's going to happen to someone else against Man United or Arsenal or Chelsea, and they're going to say the same thing, and it's just not good for the competition.
Yeah, it creates doubt, and it creates controversy. Controversy is possibly good for the competition. Wolves did vote against the use of VAR this season. They weren't very happy with it. And Nottingham Forest not so long ago were fined a huge amount, I think 150,000 quid, or it could be more. You know, because they basically said, the referee's a Luton fan. You know,
but I think the owner of Nottingham Forest, I don't know if you've seen him. He's that massively high-suit Greek guy. He's like a bit of a thug, and I think he went and logged on himself. That message when they said they weren't happy on social media felt like a 16-year-old tweeting after somebody had broken up with them. It wasn't like a professional organization. That was absolutely hysterical. But hey, listen, greatest show on earth, English Premier League. It's a soapy. You know, I have female friends that go, "Why do you love this stuff so much?" And obviously women watch football as well. But I say, don't think of it as sport. Think of it as a soapy for men. That's how you should think about the Premier League, if you want to sort of narrativize it correctly, rather than think about it as just 11 men chasing the ball. There's just so much idiosyncrasy and storylines in behind it all. All right, we'll finish off the show with our Mampara of the weekend. There are plenty of candidates. Trust me, plenty of candidates. It's Omnisport Breakfast. See you in 60 seconds.
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omnisport.